doesn't mean that she was set down in a Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just not true. And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
Is that privileged or not? She was a bartender.
Yeah.
You know, so I was a delivery boy.
I'm not saying the policies that she espouses, that's the direction, but I'm saying that you have to give the people who are out front speaking for the party, not the people who are.
If you think
she's evolving.
Yeah, she's evolving,
and
as we all are.
And she is moving into.
Right.
She understands the game a little bit more, and if you notice, she is sort of becoming a sort of normal kind of Democrat in many ways.
Speculation is heating up that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could be eyeing a 2028 White House run, but Bill Maher warns that move might push Democrats straight toward defeat. And he doesn't hold back. His argument is sharp, direct, and brutally clear. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get into it.
Not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Maher admits AOC can draw massive crowds, especially alongside figures like Bernie Sanders. The energy is real, the optics are powerful, and the enthusiasm is loud. But if recent elections have shown anything, it's this: crowd size doesn't equal votes. Rally momentum doesn't always translate to ballots. Look at the last cycle. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz pulled big crowds and generated hype, but that energy didn't convert into victory. Maher cuts through the illusion. Enthusiasm is not electability. Headlines don't win elections, broad appeal does.
People love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with are.
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
Maher's harsher point is this: AOC's appeal doesn't stretch far beyond her base. Within Democratic circles, she's popular. That's why rallies are packed with energy and excitement. But outside that bubble, the response is far less enthusiastic. He argues the issue is ideological. Many voters see her as too far left, too tied to progressive messaging that feels disconnected from everyday concerns. Critics say that brand of politics can push away moderates and independents. Fair or not, that perception becomes a serious obstacle. Maher's warning is simple. Energizing the base is one thing, but winning the middle is what decides elections.
I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't think that Don.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and Fetterman is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was set down.
It implies it.
Maher also questions AOC's authenticity, pointing to the narrative around her background. He suggests her story of working behind a bar is framed to build a relatable working-class image. In his view, it risks feeling less like honesty and more like branding. And that's where the strategy can backfire. Today's voters are skeptical. They look for what feels real. If a candidate comes across as performing instead of being genuine, the backlash can be fast. Maher's take is blunt. Authenticity can't be manufactured, and when it looks like it is, it pushes people away.
That she was set down in a Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just not true. And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
Is that privilege or not? She was a bartender.
Yeah.
You know, so I was
Look,
I was a
agree with her
delivery boy.
policies, but I'm saying sometimes, Bill, like you don't agree with Donald Trump's policies.
No,
but that's what the people want.
Some of them.
Whether you like her or not, I don't like what she did with Amazon in New York, but I think AOC she's a Democratic icon.
Well,
People
she's
love
the
her.
wrong. If you think that's the direction the country, the Democratic.
I'm not saying the policy.
Maher pushes back on arguments, like those from Don Lemon, that lickability alone wins elections. For him, that's not enough. The real question is policy and direction. What are you offering and where are you taking the country? He points again to Kamala Harris, who had strong moments of public appeal, but voters still question where she truly stood. Was she centrist or progressive? That uncertainty created hesitation. And in politics, hesitation can cost you everything.
He espouses that's the
Don?
direction, but I'm saying that you have to give the people who are out front speaking for the party, not the people who are.
If you think
She's evolving,
yeah, she's evolving,
and
as we all are,
and she is moving into
right.
She understands the game a little bit more, and if you notice, she is sort of becoming a sort of normal kind of Democrat in many ways.
Yes.
I think she's evolving.
Okay, great.
She's a very smart tactic.
That's
She's
great.
very smart.
Maher's core argument is that AOC hasn't evolved. In his view, she's still tied to the same progressive policies that launched her rise, even as the political landscape shifts. That, he argues, makes her a risky national candidate. It's not just about style, it's about substance. Her positions on issues like immigration and democratic socialism could become major flashpoints in a general election. To critics, those stances sit too far from the center, potentially pushing away swing voters. Maher's conclusion is blunt. Leading a party means building a wide coalition, not just energizing a base.
At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is. If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids.
Maher also highlights moments he believes raise concerns about leadership. He points to an incident where AOC did not publicly criticize protesters who placed a Palestinian flag over an American one. To him, silence in moments like that sends a message. He frames it as part of a broader pattern that raises questions about priorities and national identity. In a general election, perception matters as much as policy. His argument is direct. When voters start questioning a candidate's priorities, doubt sets in, and doubt can be a deal breaker.
Carville knew how to win, and he blamed the Democratic losses this November 2nd on stupid wokeness. To which AOC fired back that wokeness is a term almost exclusively used by older people these days. So that should tell you all you need to know. What? This is a term folks like you brought out very recently and had been proudly displaying at every march since. Just last year, The Guardian declared woke the word of our era. I guess they didn't get the memo from the Mean Girls Club. We don't use that emoji anymore. Woke, please. We say fetch now.
Interestingly, AOC now seems to distance herself from the label woke, even as critics argue her policies remain the same. Maher sees this not as evolution but rebranding. He points out that the term was once embraced openly. Now, as public sentiment shifts, it's quietly dropped. To him, that's moving the goalposts, changing language without changing substance. And voters notice that, especially those already skeptical. Maher's point is sharp. Changing the label doesn't change perception, and perception can define a campaign.
Every month I see a new poll reporting how much Latinos despise the woke term Latinx. It's about as popular with them as a reboot of Speedy Gonzales. Even the country's oldest Latino civil rights group came out against it, yet AOC keeps defending it, saying gender is fluid, language is fluid. Yes, and Latino voters are fluid.
At the same time, AOC has embraced terms like Latinx, even as many within the Latino community push back against it. Maher sees this as another disconnect. When a term isn't widely accepted by the people it's meant to represent, doubling down can feel out of touch. Meanwhile, stepping away from previously embraced ideas raises questions about consistency. His critique is simple: leaning into unpopular ideas while shifting away from others creates a gap, and that gap can be politically costly.
That is what's so odd about this time that we're living in. For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost: perspective.
In the end, Maher's argument comes down to one word: electability. He acknowledges AOC's energy, influence, and ability to mobilize supporters, but questions whether that translates nationally. From ideology to authenticity to shifting messaging, he paints a picture of a candidate who excites but doesn't necessarily convince. Elections aren't won on hype. They're won on clarity, consistency, and broad connection. And when voters feel uncertainty or a disconnect between words and actions, doubt creeps in. Maher's bottom line is clear. Without expanding beyond her base, AOC risks becoming a powerful voice, but not a winning candidate.